Kristen from Artocin Photography. I wanted to show you how to do a sky swap. Several people have asked me how to do this. This is one of my favorite things to do. It was one of the first things I learned in Photoshop. It really helped me understand layer mask and things like that. So I kind of wanted to show you my version of how to do it. When I first started, I used to paint the sky in, and it just would take forever. So this is a quick way to be able to do it. To speed up your workflow. Again, sometimes it's just working. It's all about working smarter than harder. So I say that all the time when I mentor and teach. So here we go. So first, what you want to do is you want to go over and you want to open up your images. You want to open up your sky image as well. I'm sorry. Here it is. So what you want to do is you want to duplicate the layer. I always add a blur to add the blur. You can go down to blur and then add Caucasian blur, and then you can set your blur. It's pretty simple. Once that's done, we do this because we want it to kind of look natural. The depth of field is always going to be blurry behind. So a lot of the problems I see when people add sky is they're not blurring out the background of their image, and their horizon is never is wrong. So your horizon, you want to be light to dark when you're selecting your sky. And you want to kind of see where the light and the sun is coming from. I knew naturally that the light and sun was coming from this area, so that's why I chose this sky. And I wanted it more natural. When I do beach sessions, I will do a little bit more dramatic of a sky. But for this one, I just kind of wanted to bring back some clouds and some of the blue in. So what we do is we duplicate the layer, okay? We can do that just by dragging and dropping, and I had already done it. We're going to grab the move tool. We're going to click and select and drag, okay? We're going to go over to our image, drag and drop, okay? The next thing you're going to do is we're going to size our image. We do this by hitting Control or Command T on a Mac, Control T for Windows. Okay, we're going to hold the Shift button down so that we can allow it to size it properly. If you didn't hold the Shift down on a Mac, it will keep the same size. That I think that's an update that Photoshop did, because it used to not do that. So we're going to make it, we don't want it to look distorted. We're going to kind of add our image in there. That looks about good. You want to make sure you come down to cover all aspects of portions of the sky. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to hit the check mark. Then what you want to do is you want to turn off the eyeball here, because now we're going to make a selection and we want to work on this. You can work on sometimes I'm going to duplicate the layer for you. I don't now. I'm pretty quick at it, so I don't need to do this. This sky swap should take you maybe, once you get the hang of it, 2 minutes tops. But I chose this image because I want to be able to see the detail in the background. Beach, it's kind of easier because it's a straight line. The horizon's a straight line, so it's easier to do, but I wanted to show you how to actually select a mask when you have a more complicated image to be able to keep the tree detail. All right, so we have this, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go over and we're going to make a selection. Okay, so we're going to grab the quick selection tool here. Off to the left here, it's the ones with the marching ants. That's how you know it's a selection tool. We're going to have the add to selection. We're going to be making a selection, so you want to make sure the plus is selected. You want to simply grab, okay? Grab all the white spots. If you don't have them completely, that's okay. You can fine tune it. The most important thing about your selection tool right here is you want to make sure that your size of your brush is not too big in this part, because what'll happen is you won't get a fine-tuned selection. So the smaller the brush when you're fine-tuning, you're making your selection, the better it's going to be. Okay, so now make the brush a little bit smaller to get into this detail, add it in there. So plus minus detail, that's pretty quick, that's pretty good. Okay, after selection, remember our eyeball is off on this. Our selection is actually on this layer. You need to make sure that this layer is selected. You're going to then hit select and mask. Okay, see how it's a real rough edge? If we were to kept this, the sky would look kind of fake and it wouldn't blend. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure the plus is selected. We're gonna grab the Refine Edge brush tool and refine those edges. And it's gonna grab here. So you just go through it. You can make your brush a little bit bigger in this sense when you're covering larger amounts of space, but see how it's doing an awesome, amazing job at just kind of blending the edges in there compared to what they were. Okay, we just go over top of it. It's gonna recognize it. It did even a really good job there. Sometimes you know, you can hit the plus and minus side. There, in some of the images, there was an actual foam pole here. So I didn't want that masked. So I actually just hit the minus sign and took it off of that so that the sky would actually cover that. Now remember, the red part is the part that the sky is not gonna be at. The white part is the mask, white to reveal, black to conceal, of where the sky is going to be after we get done doing this refine edge. I go all throughout the edge. The baby's head here, we can fine tune that. This is great because this will fine tune hair too, which is really, really awesome. Okay, let's fix that edge there. Perfect, that looks pretty good. It even took, you see the white spots in there, the sky is gonna peek through there, the sky is gonna peek through there. And it gives us a good starting point. So go ahead and there's so many different options over here. You can feather it out a little bit more. With the sky, you pretty much don't need to. This is pretty good. Go ahead and click OK. Okay, so you see part of it's selected. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure you click on your sky layer. Again, all about with the Photoshop and the layers, you have to make sure you tell Photoshop which layer you want. It's really important because if you don't click on the layer you're working with, you're gonna do things and you're gonna wonder what happened or nothing happened. It's because you're not usually clicked on the layer. So make sure that you're clicked on this layer. So then what you wanna do, we see the marching ants, that's the part we selected. Okay, white to reveal, black to conceal. We're gonna go down here and we're gonna hit the mask. Okay, again, we're on this selection here, on this layer here. Okay, and boom, that did a pretty good job. Now, to match the image, I'm going to change the opacity here all the way down. Okay, I usually do about 53% because what's gonna happen is once I add, I do a full edit on this, everything's gonna pop. So we don't really need, we're gonna see the color in the blue sky and the clouds. So I kind of want it to match my straight out of camera in this instance. I wanna double check the hair to make sure the baby's hair looks pretty good. If you needed to fine tune your mask, white to reveal, black to conceal, you can grab your brush and just brush off. A lot of times you won't need to. If you mask it properly, you won't have to do it at all. And that looks pretty good. It's pretty soft. The background's blur as if you were taking the shot. It looks pretty natural there. So then what you would do is you would just merge your layers together and there you have it. That's pretty much how you do it. Then you would do your complete edit, which you could start now. And that's pretty much it.